But I want to talk about this specific problem and how this bill specifically addresses it.
So yeah, it's it's a great headline grabber. We obviously, and it's kind of like, duh, it's common sense. We don't need to be selling Texas land to people who want to do us harm. It's not as easy to accomplish that as one might think. And so, I had people I heard from, just ban it. And I'm like, well, but I've got the government coming in saying you can't sell your land to XYZ. So that's incredibly close to the government stepping in on my private property rights. And so we wanted to be sure that we were very much protecting our state from hostile foreign adversaries, but not infringing on people's private property rights. That is a foundational cornerstone of our republic, is that ownership of private property. And so doing that we had to be very careful. The other thing is just making sure that we don't have these hostile adversaries that own land close to critical infrastructure, close to our military installations, where they don't own a bunch of farmland, where they could just say, we're not farming that land, and cause a food shortage. We saw a real life occurrence where a food manufacturing plant in North Carolina was Chinese owned, and during the COVID shutdowns where people were sick, a lot of our meat producing facilities were idled back or shut down. And instead of that particular company, they controlled 25% of the pork market in the United States. And when we started having those meat shortages, where do you think they started sending their product? It wasn't to America. It was back to China because they were Chinese owned. And so that's a real life example of what we could get ourselves into, not to mention spying on our military installations and our critical infrastructure. And so we want to keep those hostile adversaries out of our state from owning property and being able to do us harm that way, but while protecting that American dream, where the people who do want to escape that communist regime, the abusive tactics that they live under, they want to become Americans and do it the right way and live the American dream. We want to protect that for people. The people that are oppressed the most and suffer the most under those are the Chinese people from China. And so it was a lot of work. Speaker Phelan made us chair of the interim committee. And then, Senator Colcourse kind of blazed this trail last session. Speaker Burrows kept it going, full support. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick was great. Governor, this is a bill that started pretty good in the Senate, and we filed a bill in the House that was a little bit better, and it got a little better when it left the Senate, and a little better when it left the House, and the bill just got stronger and better. And this is what the process is, what it's supposed to work. This is a good example of how things work through the process. And you can ask my staff and people around. At times it was extremely frustrating and challenging, but at the end of the day, the reward was well worth it. We got a great product, strongest bill in the country. Texas is not for sale.